Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Tales with TR. I'm your host, Terry Ryan Jr. Happy to be alive. What a day. Love the spring. Love NHL playoffs. Love fans bitching and complaining and freaking out, and more fans loving life as it goes with each passing day. Teams winning, teams losing. Players choking, players coming through in the clutch. Even the odd fight, lots of hits. Fuck, are there lots of hits in the NHL playoffs? There really are. I don't know what people are talking about saying there's no hits anymore. There's fucking tons of hits. Might be less fights. Especially that Winnipeg, Colorado series. Holy fuck. Anyway, can only watch so much hockey, but I love the first round of the playoffs because there's so many teams involved, obviously. This year actually probably isn't as exciting as other years. I really don't know how to gauge that with analytics. I don't think anybody's been suspended yet, for example. Not that we're hoping for injuries. But it seems rather mild as far as storylines so far. There's lots of negative ones. Talk to the Leafs. Holy fuck. They pulled off a win last night, though. Matthew Knies. And I was kind of, like I said, I got a buddy on the inside with the Leafs, so I feel like I always have to justify when I cheer for them. But, I'm Canadian. I want to see a Canadian team winning. And yeah, I played in the Leafs organization. I always feel like fucking some level of blasphemy when I say that as a Montreal Canadian, ex-Montreal Canadian. But, I was in the Leaf system too. And I just want to see a fucking Canadian team win it. I got lots of buddies that cheer for both. And, it wouldn't be the worst thing. Do I think they're going to win? Probably not. Probably not. I don't think they're deep enough. 3-2 now. Let's just say they get past Boston. I think they really got their work cut out for them. Would it be Carolina or the Rangers? Or Florida. Yeah, Florida. Yeah. In any case, people all fucking down. I get it. Marner really wasn't playing well. It seemed like something was up, and you get Nylander missing a couple of the games, the first couple games, then Matthews is out. But I really don't think they'd be out if there wasn't something majorly wrong. Could other people play through it? I don't know. I don't know what what's ailing them. People flipping the fuck out all over town, all over the country. I'm traveling a lot. Fuck them. They're so soft. I don't know if they're that soft. I don't know. Those players, maybe I guess there's no real level of combat in the Big Four on Toronto when it comes to fighting. Matthews blocks a lot of shots. Didn't he lead the Leafs last year in block shots? I think he was one of the leaders in the league, right? And he does hit, and he's big down low. You don't really want those guys fighting. But the thing is, they brought in again this year. Let's just say, 3 players. Any random 3 that they brought in. Okay, we're talking about toughness. I'm trying to think. Well, they got Edmondson. Well, Jesus, the beginning of the year, they got Domi, Bertuzzi, and Reeves right off the start of the year. Now, those guys, I know, people are going to go, they're not tough. They are, though. Today's game, I consider Domi and Bertuzzi tough to play against. If they really, really have to, they'll mix it up. And Reeves obviously likes to mix it up. Right? So that's just 3 guys. I told you, Edmondson, the other guys, not like they got a lot of scary players, but they definitely go hard. Like Knies is hard to play against. He hits hard. He's a big guy. Right? Like, I don't see a team that's so weak or frail or scared. When it comes to the playoffs, they squeeze their sticks. They don't know how to do it, do they? They got 1 round in last year, but you're looking for a bit more success. I get why you'd be frustrated. I'm frustrated watching. But reasons, I think you'd have to go real deep. By the way, Carl, I know Carl's question is, hey, TR, why do the Leafs fucking suck? And I don't think they do. I just think I don't know if they're going to win the Stanley Cup. Like I said, even if they get out of this series, it's going to be tough. I get your frustration. But if you're a Leafs fan, do you really think that they've got the team to win the cup? Now, I suppose I've had this conversation on the road. I was at a Leafs game last week, and one gentleman brought up, sitting right behind me, brought up how he said, well, Montreal didn't have the parts either a few years ago. They made the final in the pandemic. They did. I think you're underestimating Carey Price and Shea Weber there. But they did. Corey Perry was there. Like, you know, the Habs weren't, I mean, I think they squeaked in the playoffs, but it wasn't a huge surprise if you look at who they got. Even if you look at a goalie, they had Carey Price in the fucking net, right? So anyway, Carl, I don't know how I started rambling. Why I started rambling about the Leafs, but kind of answers your question. I don't think they suck. I think it's a hard league. I know it takes players a while to grow, and you would figure a guy like Tavares, I think in his 30s, Matthews, Marner, Nylander are all prime. It's still only 4 players. Do you not think, Carl, that they need a stud D and a stud goalie? Would that change things, right? I mean, we look at, McKinnon's on fire. He's just so much better. Well, he is. McKinnon could be the best player in the fucking league. You could make an argument for that, right? You could make an argument for that. If you look at his points and his success and just watch him play, the motherfucker is powerful. But they have Makar, right? I don't know about stud goalie, but the goalies they've had over the last few years tend to stand on their head at some point, steal them a game or two. It happened in this playoffs already. Every team, though, I don't know, man. Think about it. Think about the run. Jesus, St. Louis went on. Look at their stud D, right? And then look at, I think Bennington. Jesus, Jordan Binnington went on a bit of a run, right? Like every team seems to have, I don't know, look at Tampa with Hedman. There's other players surrounding them, of course, but I mean one real fucking stud D to go along with a real good supporting cast. And it was when it came to Tampa, they had Vasilevsky. It's just what I see. Could anybody get hot? Yes. But you're asking me my honest opinion. If it doesn't work this year for the Leafs, they'd probably, easier said than done. And it wouldn't be Matthews if it were me, but get rid of one of the forwards and bring in a stud D. And hope that Joseph Woll can't bring in a stud D and a stud goalie. There's only so many goalies, but I think you can immediately bring in a stud D. And then who knows? Joseph Woll went in last night. He looked all right. I didn't think Samsonov was as shitty as everybody said. He wasn't playing extremely well. But if you look at the other series, if you just look away from your series for a second, he really wasn't doing that poorly, right? Some went in that were questionable, but I wouldn't be just blaming Samsonov. I think that's way too easy. Definitely one of the reasons for blame, but I would put it way down the list. You got to score goals, right? You got to score goals. If you look at the Leafs goal scoring in the last, they lost 6 in a row at home. I think they got 2 goals per game. Again, this is rough analytics out of my head, but I believe I'm right here. But I know I'm right to a point. I don't know the exact games, but I think they went over 10, getting 2. They got 3 once in their last 10 fucking playoff games. 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. You just got to come out. You got to score more goals, especially when you got goal scorers and a few guys with 100 points. And I say stud D. I don't think Riley's a bad D, but I just don't think he's the one to carry. I think he's fucking great for the Leafs. Been there so long, gives it his all. Last year, he was their best playoff performer. You can only expect so much. I just think Riley would be great in that second best defenseman category, role, whatever. That's simplifying it. Anyway. Yeah, they need a stud D. They need a lot. They still can win here, Carl. So if you're a fan, don't be so upset. Why do the Leafs fucking suck? I get it that you guys are upset, but it's a long playoff, and just look at the other teams. It's there's a lot to unpack. Those are my thoughts. Hey Terry, do you dream, and what do you dream about? From Carla in Nashville. What do I dream about? Like dream. Okay, I'm guessing you don't mean like sit here and dream of like being prime minister or something. Like you're thinking dream when I go to bed. Okay, I do. Um, what do I dream about? Yeah, I don't know. It could be anything. If I'm in a good mood, I dream more. I know that. If I'm in a bad mood, or I got things on my mind for some reason, I find it harder to sleep, let alone dream. I often take a sleep aid, and that pretty much knocks dreams out. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to give you a better answer. I dream of all things. I dream about hockey a lot. I dream about sex a lot. Um, I had a wet dream like 2 weeks ago, which usually ends when you're like 16 years old. But I get them at least, yeah, sometimes, yeah, at least once a year. I don't know what the correlation is. Stress, good mood. I really don't know. But so obviously that's another thing I dream about. Um, I dream about flying a lot. Maybe because I'm scared of heights. People say like when you're falling in a dream, you'll often either wake up or, if you hit the ground, you die or whatever. I mean, I don't know how much truth is that. It's a dream. But I find myself like on the edge of the cliff in the dream, not necessarily falling, but like on the edge or like in terrifying situations I don't want to be in. Like that fucking skywalk outside the CN Tower that terrifies me more than most things in life. And people are just going up and paying money to do it. Shout out Maggie Connors, PWHL Toronto. Can't believe you fucking did that. We'll get Maggie on after the season ends. But anyway, yeah. So that's often, I guess it's things that either I'm really, really terrified of, or I spend a lot of time thinking about subconsciously. That'd probably be hockey and sex. There you go. Do you have any pets? I've answered that before. Yes, in my direct house, 2 cats and a lizard. My parents have a cat. I say my parents because they live close, and they're all basically for my daughter. Well, we rescue them. We go to SPCA and shit to get our animals. So it's as much of a rescue, but, they're for my daughter, basically. Oreo, Princess, the lizards, Charlie, and Coco. There you go, 3 cats and a lizard. Always had a dog, by the way. I just don't have time. I'm traveling so much, and when I'm here, I don't have the time. I don't have the level of responsibility in me for a dog. Okay, let's see here. Hey, Terry, the rest of your life, would you rather, what do you mean the rest of my life? Would you rather spend a week in the woods or a haunted house for one night? Huh. Like a real life haunted house? Okay, this question comes from Ricky Randy. Ricky Randy I got this written down. It's my writing. Looks like California. Anyway, Ricky Randy, thanks for listening. What would I rather do? Yeah, the haunted house for one night. Dropped off in the woods with nothing, I assume, for one full week. If I have a tent, what do I have? A tent, a fishing rod? What do I got here? What kind of woods are they? Is it Banff? Is it beautiful? Is it the Rocky Mountains? When is it? What time of year? What am I wearing? Do I have warm clothes? There's a lot of ifs in your question. All things being equal, if it's summertime and I got supplies, I don't think a full week in the woods would be that bad. I'd take that. If it's here, wear your fucking rock tee and a pair of jeans, your Vans, and we're going to drop you off in the fucking middle of Missoula, Montana mountains range or what would that be? I guess the Rocky Mountains, middle of nowhere type thing. Then I'm saying, I guess the haunted house. But to be honest with you, yeah, 1 full week in the woods doesn't sound that bad. I think here in Newfoundland, you kind of look forward to that. A lot of people take their holidays as such. Okay. Hey, TR, which movie character would you like to play? Which movie character would I like to play? Character. Okay. Comes from Timus. What movie character would I like to play? Okay, I'm going to guess you're talking about a movie character that's ongoing or still ongoing, I guess, doesn't have anything to do with it, but that's already established. For that answer would have to be, Deadpool. I would love to act in something that was as tongue-in-cheek and had so many wicked, nasty one-liners as Deadpool gets to have. And there's a lot of action involved. So all my favorite things about film being the action. I love doing stunts. I don't have many as of yet. I guess in Shoresy I've got a few, but Shoresy basically does all the chirping. It's not the players. If you'll notice, people say, hey, I love your chirps. I'm like, well, you don't watch the show. Hey, think about it. Hitch doesn't chirp much. He might have the odd one. Maybe amongst the guys, he might say, there might be. I think what's the conversation we had about space, right? So I might be, come on, boys, he wants to talk about space. Well, I might be kind of sarcastic within the group, but I don't remember Hitch having any chirps per se like Shoresy does. So, and not that I'm dying to have chirps for people. I don't really want them in Shoresy. I mean, I guess if it comes to it, it's all out of Jarrett's mind. And he tends to be treating Hitch pretty well so far. The character and the person, Terry, Hitch, whatever the fuck, all of it together. So I got no complaints. I love playing Hitch. If I'd answer this question if I wasn't in Shoresy, my answer would be I'd love to be in Shoresy. Your action, which movie character that I'm not would I love to be a part of? Would I love to be? And that I think would be Deadpool. There's all kinds of other answers I could give you that require just a different kind of sensibility, a different approach that would require angst. I like those guys that are mentally tormented, that require compassion, angst, anger. Angst is anger. A level of humor about yourself. Tim Robbins in Shawshank Redemption. People think about the movie, and great movie. A lot of people have it in their top 10 of all time. With me, it's probably up there. Definitely for the 90s. But Tim Robbins I don't think he gets enough credit for that. You don't often hear, Tim Robbins was great in Shawshank Redemption. You hear people talk about the movie, and I hear them talking about Morgan Freeman as well plays a great role. But I think Tim Robbins in there, right? I mean, spoiler alert, but at the beginning he gets kind of if nothing else, it's a raw deal that he has to go and because there's murder, there's violence. No, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to give away too much if you haven't seen the movie. But let me say that it requires a guy to reflect and he's not the most outgoing guy, but he still has to wear those emotions. And there's a few times during the movie that it's subtle, but you can see the angst, you can see the compassion, you can see the bewilderment, you can see the frustration. And anyway, that's just one example, right? Something like that. I got to play it, and there's a movie, A Fire in the Cold Season, and I played a real fucking bad dude named Coyote. Something like that again. Like that was a dream. I remember saying that was way before Shoresy. Well, 2 years before. And I remember saying to myself, this is great. If I never get to act again, I've gotten to play somebody that I had to kind of reach outside myself. I mean, it's all an extension of you. I just got to read this guy's angry. He's fucking frustrated. There are times in my life I felt like Coyote. So it wasn't hard to channel him. But I'm also the furthest thing from him. I mean, this guy was a fucking drug dealer, moved away from home, lost his job. Well, that's what he turned into, being not really a drug dealer per se, working for a drug dealer. He was a gun for hire, whatever the fuck. Give me money. Basically a sociopath for hire. That can be fun. But yeah, there are all kinds of places I can go. Thank you for asking that question, though. I don't often get questions about the movies, and I'm as big a fan as you are. So my mind goes in many different directions when you ask me that about movie characters.
The chase for the Stanley Cup is on, and if you're looking to light the lamp, nothing beats the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. From the start of playoff beards all the way till hoisting the cup, DraftKings Sportsbook has got you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Is your Cup favorite still in the playoffs? Well, you can bet the over-under on any game that they're in. Or maybe you want to take a swing at predicting a hat trick for one of the star players on your Cup favorite. Either way, DraftKings Sportsbook has got you covered. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code THPN. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. That's code THPN, as in the Hockey Podcast Network, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/ice for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gambling resources. Copyright NHL 2024, all rights reserved.
Okay. Okay, let's see. What can you tell us about season 4? I think you mean season 3. Shelley. Phoenix, Shelley. What can I tell you about? Well, it's season 4. We haven't really been. I mean, a little birdie told me that there's a good chance if season 3 does well that we will do season 4, but that's really not guaranteed yet. So I assume you're talking about 3. 3 will be out in about 3 weeks. What can I tell you? It's not already been said. The Bulldogs are back. The Bulldogs want to... What can I tell you? The characters get a little deeper. Shoresy faces much adversity, more than you've seen so far. I mean, so far the adversity would be directed mostly at the team. I think Shoresy has to look deep inside in this one a little bit more, a little bit Laura Moore. As far as my character, you learn a little bit more about Hitch. I was thrilled with, like I said before, I was thrilled with our scenes, but I until I see it, guys, it's a package. Like, we shoot it out of order. I do have the scripts there. I read through them more than once when I was in Sudbury. We shot it in October, November, December. So I do read through the scripts, but when you're not in, and then, I read through it 2 or 3 times, all 6, okay? And that might take... Yeah, it takes a few hours each time for sure. So at least if you really want to absorb it. So I do that. And then from there, I go over my own scenes. And I go over them over and over and over and over and over again, because it's not just remembering the lines. You've got to act them, and when we're in such long scenes, it's tough to go from like, okay, remember, what's my next line? What's my next line? Looking around, and you're kind of waiting for your next line. So you're more worried about remembering the words than you are delivering it. So you need to get past that point. That's the point that, for me, that's the mountain. And once you remember all the lines and you know when you're coming in, now you're coming down the other side of the mountain, because now you can give your interpretation, albeit slight, right? You guys know what's coming when Hitch speaks. But there are little tweaks. There's mannerisms. There's way I can move my eyes. There's ways I can contort my face. There's reactions. While other people are talking, I might be in the scene. Other people are chatting. But I got to know what they're saying, because if they say something that's astonishing, I have to look fucking astonished. You know what I mean? So, point being, I'm so focused on the context and what my lines are and how to deliver my lines as Hitch that I often lose track of what's happening in the show, right? And like I said, like if you look at it, we're not in every scene. I don't know. We're in most days. When I say we, let's say me, Dolo, Goody, and Jared. Well, Jared's in almost every. Me, Dolo, Goody, say. If you generally see one of us, you see all of us. The Jims might be in there. Michaels might be. The girls might be. But if I'm in a scene, the odds are Dolo's in it, first of all, and the odds are Andrew's in it. But Dolo's usually, I don't remember one that Dolo's not in for me. So we'll get together and go through all that. Constant. We'll go up to the room. People think, oh, you guys go out every night? No, we go out for dinner. We go back to the room and we fucking go over our lines. We learned from the first couple of days in the first season that we need to be prepared here, right? And you also want to be a fucking professional, right? These people are employing us. They're nice enough to put us in a major goddamn TV show, right? Make us popular. You're going to do that? You're going to give me a reason that I'm going, why do you think I'm traveling around? I'm going to these ECMAs tomorrow, East Coast Music Awards, for those that don't know. I'm going to present an award. I'm going to play a charity game. 3 days later, I'm going to Halifax, playing another charity game. I mean, a lot of this is Ted Hitchcock. I'd love to think it was my great hockey prowess as a first-round pick. That happened a long time ago, right? So, I mean, it's a nice bonus that I go to these places and I play for the Montreal Canadiens. It's nice, played for the Montreal Canadiens. People do enjoy it, but trust me, more often than not, they got Ted Hitchcock jerseys. And when I go, they want to know about Ted Hitchcock. They don't give a fuck about TR, and that's fine. Right? But that's what they delivered for me. So I might as well remember my fucking lines, Anyway, I know that's not your question, but we shoot it out of order and everything. So when I see it on May 24th, I've actually already seen it because I did the press tour. But usually when it comes like when I did, it was, some of it was as new to me as it will be to you. And I don't ever know we don't see it with the music in it. We don't see it all edited. We don't know. We do the scene. We don't know how they're going to present it. I don't even know. I can tell you how many cameras are in it, right? Some scenes, it's obvious. You follow us around. You're walking with the camera. They'll have a handheld. It'll be one camera, and you can kind of tell that when you're watching it, right? But sometimes you use 3 cameras. Sometimes you go over a scene and you do it 4 or 5 times per angle. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, a lot. That's why directors are way fucking underrated. And because there's not usually just one person or the people that are directing, right? The second AD, then the third AD is often fucking got a lot to do. And then you get I started as an AD, technically assistant director, more like assistant to the director, as Dwight Schrute would say, or Michael Scott. Because, like, for me, when I first got on, it was literally, can you get me coffee? Can you round up these actors? Can you do this? Can you go over to the BG and make sure they got their contracts? Can you make sure of this? Can you get locations to clean the lunchroom? Right? So that's not really directing a film, but it's all part of that world. We need direction here, right? And that filters up, boom, 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 boom. I would have been the last person down, probably 6 or 7. There's probably 3 or 4 ADs. like out on the floor, and then you got your second AD usually in charge of the trailers and everything that goes on. Not everything behind the scenes, but a lot of what goes on that's not right on the set, but might be needed for the next set or for transportation or whatever. The second AD will work with all those different departments. The third AD is often when you hear action, at least in my world. So for like the third AD is often on set calling shots as a director would be. In my experience, it's not like that on every show, but I'm just trying to paint a picture for you that all this is going on, right? All of it's going on. And sometimes you shoot way more than you use. So like as an actor with no other horse in the race, it's not like I write for the show. It's not like I produce it, right? For me, I have to show up and act. That's what you want me to do. That's my job. You're paying me well to do it. I'm going to do it. But as far as it's going to look, we have no fucking idea. And it looks a lot different to you guys after post-production than it does when we shoot it, right? It's just a bunch of guys in a dressing room and girls. The fucking lights are on. Some of the dressing room, sometimes when we're in the room, that's like built in like the middle of the building, right? We just go in and we do our scenes in there. There's different lighting. Grips are in and out of there, right? The craft services are right outside. The Carps built the fucking dressing room quick, put it up in like a couple of days. So there's a lot going on. We're in there. It feels like we're in a room when we're speaking with the guys, but there's no way to escape the fact that it feels like you're on a set because you are. So like I said, all that, we do the scenes. When we got it, okay, we got it. Let's move on to the next one, and we go quick. Wardrobe will come in, change us. Where are we now? We're shooting it out of order. Next one, guys. Wear what you wore in episode 2 after the apartment, because we're coming into the rink today from the apartment in episode 2, scene 23. Here we go, right? And you get people on there, continuity and wardrobe working with you. Go from one change into another, go in and do the scene. Good. Then after that, we might go back and do something that happens after that, like way after that. And we might do something that happened before. So because of all that, and all the wheels are always in motion, the end result of Shoresy is usually as surprising to me as it is to a lot of people that are watching it for the first time. Maybe not as surprising, but certainly as fulfilling. And I'm just as pumped up to see it. So anyway, that's that. Okay, hold on one sec. Excuse me. Okay, time for one more quick one. Hey, Terry, what do you think of the Columbus Blue Jackets' chances next year? From Phil in Columbus. I don't get asked much about the Columbus Blue Jackets. I don't ever remember. Phil, thank you for even watching hockey and being involved, because I'm trying to be nice here, but I'm not going to say they're irrelevant, because they're not, but just in my, like, they barely pass through my mind. I can only name you like 5 players on the team. Johnny Gaudreau, obviously. What did he have this year, though? Like, he played all the games. What did he have, like 50 points or something? Like, I don't know. I don't study. I know the who else? Werenski. You had Adam Fantilli, great young player. Olivier, that kid who fought Rempe. Now we got to start thinking. Boone Jenner. There. Is that your 5? There's 5 players. That's all I can name off the top of my head. Meaning, so I don't pay much attention to the Blue Jackets. I probably should. Hosting a podcast and also doing like live radio with Jason Greger. What do I think of their chances? I don't think they're very good. Let me just really look this up. I was kind of kidding with the 50 points, but I think he led their team with around that. Hold on. It's incredible, actually. Here we go. Johnny Gaudreau, 81 games played, 12 goals, 48 assists, 60 points. He's their leading scorer. I think he had a long way to go, buddy, Phil. Yeah, I just think you got a long way to go. They don't have much. Guy, let me see. I forgot. On the bright side, Alexander Nylander, 23 games, 15 points. He seems to be. I know that until this year, well, he's always been up and down, and people say he didn't turn out, and he's not playing well. But all I know is that 15 points in 23 games for a really bad team would have put him on pace to be their second, third leading scorer. Oh, Kirill Marchenko. Yeah, I forgot about that guy. He's all right. He had the most goals, 23. Cy Young, though, 19 assists. Anyway, what do I think? I think they're years away, man. I really do. And I think the Habs were just as poor of a team this year, but they have a little bit more direction. I just think that the Habs are going to be good quicker. Just their young players. And as much as people fucking hated Slavkovsky, he really did come on this year. Didn't he have 20? They got Suzuki. They got, Jesus, Caulfield, right? These guys were okay this year, but as they get a better team and more confidence and everything else, and they have another year under their belt, right? They got my buddy Alex Newhook. Newhook was hurt most of the year, came back. I just think, even their guys that, what's his Wi-Fi there? What the fuck is his name? Arbors Jackeye, whatever. He's got some spunk, and I just think they have the parts there of a team. I don't think anytime soon they're going to win the cup, but I think the Habs will be in the playoffs quicker than the Columbus Blue Jackets. Ottawa Senators, absolute train wreck at times, but again, I think they'll be in the playoffs before your Columbus Blue Jackets. The Phoenix organization, now Salt Lake, Utah, what are they called? I don't even know. Utah Mammoth, maybe? I don't think they have a name yet. They're maybe in the same category. I just don't see much hope. Now, I hope for the city of fucking Columbus that they do get a good team because they really support it there. I went to a game in Columbus a few years ago, 10 years ago, and was absolutely blown away. It's like a regular season nothing game, too. They're playing Nashville. And it was in November. Can't say, who knows? No game is a nothing game, but it had that feeling. It's not like it was a playoff game. It wasn't like a Remembrance Day or fucking, that's here in Canada. It wasn't like the Halloween game, and it was just a game. It was just a blah game. And, the fans there fucking loved it, man. They lived for it. The vibe outside was none other than no different than going to a fucking Leafs or a Habs game. What a vibe. Wicked spots, nice bars, restaurants. That city's underrated. I still don't really understand Johnny Gaudreau's signing there from a winning point of view, but from a city point of view, I do. People were down on him. I think you got a wicked spot there, man. And I didn't even realize Mark Recchi was the assistant coach. There's a good guy. Went through some trouble this year, boys, with Mike Babcock, but Pascal Vincent came in. I don't think he had a whole lot to work with. I think they'll get a new coach next year. And look at Rex. I don't know if Rex is a good coach. Hopefully he's a good player, good guy. Obviously he's a good player, good guy in the room. Really liked Rex. Anyway, that's vague. I don't think your team's going to make the playoffs anytime soon, buddy. And I don't know what they got coming up. I'm going to give this more attention, though. You know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to study, say, the bottom 5 teams that I know the least about. And knowing the least about just usually comes with viewing. And I only watch if a team is either Canadian or in contention or gives me a reason to watch them. Right? Anyway, good luck. I don't know what else to say about the Columbus Blue Jackets. I don't know much about them. What I do know is that I'm going to have at least one of the Shoresy guests on tomorrow, or actors on tomorrow. I'm definitely going to get McD, being that Ryan McDonald Michaels, but Dolo might come on as well. We'd have a little chat, but all things Shoresy. Anyway, I'll have a guest. I'll be in Halifax Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I will be in Charlottetown tomorrow, being Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the ECMAs. Really looking forward to that. And I'll be in Halifax next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday is our big game. I believe it's raising money for leukemia awareness, but you'll see. I'll announce that soon. I'll post it soon. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you're downtown St. John's, you want to have a beer, drop in too. Trinity Pub, TJ's Pub, Rob Roy Confusion, the Martini Bar, Greensleeves, the Bull and Barrel. Why not? If you're going to go for a bite to eat, try Loose Tie, Merchant Tavern, and of course, Blue on Water. If you're in the East End, try out Wedgwood Cafe. They also do catering. Peter Wedgwood, Wedgwood Cafe. If you want to improve your life, you want to start working out, why not go to Power Conditioning on Rope Walk Lane? Strength and balance for the body and mind. Power Conditioning, Ryan Power, Rope Walk Lane. You want to go to Mr. Lube? There's 2 locations here in St. John's, Newfoundland, and Labrador. One is on Tenmount Road. One is on Torbay Road. Live, laugh, lube. Chris Sparks, Mr. Lube. Pitbull Pain Relief, the pain sticks that just don't quit. Go to pitbullpainrelief.com and see what all the fuss is about. True Hockey, take what's yours. Folks, I'll be back in just a few days with more Tales with TR. Thanks for listening. Shoresy's coming real soon. Catch you guys on The Rebound.